I greet you in the love and the light. I just wanted to remind people what I believe to be true. And lots of others do as well these days, to be fair. Actually, a stack throughout the spiritual world, throughout the some of the media have changed, haven't they, a little bit towards it. But I mean, they're still talking of it, kicking it down the street. But I'm on about the internet media, or the independent media, shall we say? Doesn't have to be on the internet. But they're realising 19 was a cover-up for a numerous amount of things, financial problems that the lovely governments have got us into, by swindling all our money, crimes against people ascending, stopping, holding back, crimes against humanity. And I just want to say to you, politicians, thank you for being so used. Whether you were good or bad doesn't matter. What matters is we realise, and we ain't having it. We're ascending to the higher dimensions. Bye-bye, Chicos. These service to self human beings will probably jump ship, of course. And I'm grateful for them jumping ship, because it strengthens the love. And I'm not in the negative for them. I'm in the positive for them. I want them to realise the errors of the way, and if they want to ascend, they have to come over to the light. So you give thanks for that, and you give praises. This tapestry that we've got of life, that we're not really living yet. You know that, don't you? It's all an illusion. It's all an illusion. It's an illusion from our brains, sort of projecting, hologramic, I'll say that again, holographic, an illusion. And we only see this when we choose to. We can push it out of our minds for years, millions of years, if we want to. Well, eventually the Earth's decided it's time to move up. And the great equinox, or the great year, or the precession of the equinox, they call it precession of the equinox, is the proper name. The great year, the 26,000 year cycle, 5,800 years cycle. It was up 2012. All starts changing again. That's why we had the crash in 2008, because they knew it was going to happen in 2012, and it got pushed back in 2012 to 2022. But it started happening, the process started happening in 2012, but really it got pushed back to 2022. No going back now, people. We might as well embrace it and be happy and enjoy what the Bible says. The 2 million years, or the 2,000 years of golden years of utopia or paradise. Whichever. Oh, bugger. Oh, well, that's a drop of makeup on the carpet. Anyway, we've got these years ahead of us, and we don't have to start concentrating on the negative things that we once did and were fine for us in these let's say in the 1900s. Let's say in 1900s, because I want to say male energy is a 1, right? Female energy is a 2, right? So we know how we've got two twos now at the moment, but 2022 we had three twos, so it was a feminine energy. This is what they're saying to us now, but this is what it is. It's not what they're saying, it's what it is. It's a feminine energy. So we've got, as masculine energy, we've got to embrace femininity. I'm not saying put dresses on, boys. I'm not saying high heels on, climbing around the street and all that business. I'm not saying chop anything off. I'm not saying any of that. But just embrace that there's really only one gender at the end of it. Do you understand? You don't have to start going off with man, woman, or cross gender. We're not saying that. Just realise in that there's only one gender in the fifth dimension. Because everything's projected in the fifth dimension that we want. We don't need to reproduce the way third dimensional beings reproduce. It's not so important. Time is, it's not. It's just different. We become a light entity body, then not a physical body. Not a body made out of matter and physical. That we. I mean, our body now only has 1.5% light in. If you're in the third dimension. Now, fifth dimension has something like 15 to 18, something like that. So that's a lot more light. We can do a lot more with it, of course. Telekinesis, astral projection, things like that. But anyway, people, just remember, whatever plan each of us chooses to wake up, we're all gonna. So some people might want to push it off and ignorance is bliss sort of situation in the mind. But it isn't. Ignorant is not bliss. Ignorant is very much the opposite. It's not bliss, and it's slavery, and we didn't give the dark forces or the negative beings the right to take our free will away. And this is what they've been doing for so many years. The slavery. And don't think slavery's over. It's just money now. The chains have gone from chains and whips to currency and financial sanctions and business like that. We're not ones to be frightened of anything coming forward, because we know who we are, what we are in the fifth dimension. So we're not frightened of anything. So all you fear mongers, let it go, because you're the only one who's suffering. Don't be frightened of anything. Nothing fears me. We're grateful for this reality, and we're grateful for everyone in it and everything in it. We don't want to destroy anything. We want to enlighten. But nobody has to follow me. No, I'm not suggesting you do if you don't feel that this resonates with you, the things I say. I think that's the important bit. Keeping it your path, your own free will. You understand? Because if I was suggesting to you to do this, or forcefully suggesting anyone does any of this meditation or spiritual work, it would be then we're taking your free will, and that's not what the law of one's about. It's about giving people their free will back and taking it back from the dark forces. Not all about that, but realising what's really happening on the ground. The realisation of it. Yes, there's more. There's more to life. There's more to life, and we're grateful for it. You understand? And we're grateful to access the higher dimensions in our 7 chakras. You know, a little hint to the ones who only have three. The reptilians, who are amongst us, who don't really look like us, but because they're only in the negative beings, they are projecting humans to everybody else. So they just look like humans to us, but they actually look something totally different if they take away, because they put this, they can use their telepathic see, where we're not, or mostly not, in the third dimension speaking. So these they project their image on our brain, and we see it the way they're projected, not the way it is. The reptilians, they're all amongst us. They're breeding with humans. They're all amongst us. And part of what the reptilians do is they feed from our negativity, our suffering. That's their energy, where humans are the opposite. Do you understand? Like, humans, you know, don't like anything, most don't anyway. Don't like anything bad happening to anyone, and they don't feed off that same energy as the reptilians do. So they want suffering and that for the humans, because it feeds them in it, and they're just energy vampires basically, feeding off the humans. And they always have to, a reptilian always has to marry into human families, to lower the vibrations of usually high vibration people, so they'll be negative at them all the time. Then eventually they just become low like them, you know. And I'm not low. Thanks to all my meditation and all my tools of escape the illusion complex. The great escape, diddle-a-da, diddle-a-da. You know, the great escape of the illusion. And it's been an epic journey for us all, you know, in our own little way. But give thanks that one can see the light, and appreciate our great existency, the great creator, the great number one programmer. That's all we care about. Who programs humans willy-nilly. Who programs everything. The trees, the birds, you know. This is not one person doing this, like the Bible says. It's one consciousness, and we all share a piece of it. Give thanks to the one creator that's given thanks to us. Pay homage to that we're all together, that we can't ascend, we can't do anything really unless we all agree. I mean, we're going to get, in the fifth dimension, we've all got to agree, you know, that it's best for the collective group. And that's not what's happening now. You know, the collective group have got to be grateful for that, because, you know, it's easier to work together with someone, isn't it, than work against somebody, you know, in any walk of life. So give thanks, people. Anyway, lovely. I'm going to give a big shout out to the golf competition I was in yesterday. Fez and Ernie, his brother, who's passed away, I believe. I think it's Ernie. I'm sure it's Ernie, but I'm not very good. I don't know if that's his brother that's still alive. But anyway, love you, Fez, and thank you for inviting me. And I enjoyed it, even though I had to walk all the way around my clubs. I'm not as old as I think I am. Give thanks, mate. Blessed love, blessed love.